Greetings, Dr. Joseph Martin, Donna Galenkwa. Imagination is Reality, Part 2. This is the follow-up to the previous video that we just did on this topic. In this video, I will explain to you how I actually healed myself of the physical hole in my heart and many other illnesses and challenges, both all spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, and how I learned to find other kind of research from ancient times and modern times of other peoples and other cultures and ancient cultures, how they did this same process, and how I learned to put this together for myself to heal myself and then share it with lots of other people through my scientific, clinical, and research efforts and work. And then mostly I'd like to share this with you for the point that you too, I'm just the same as all of us, you too can learn to do these same things. And it all depends on your belief system and how you know why you're here. Why you're here and who you are the most important questions. Why you're here and who we are. We're actually spiritual beings having an earthly human experience in a physical form. And then I'd like to share how we can look at some other visionary leaders in our world recently who've done this and changed our world. They've rocked the world and they've changed our world for the better, and how you too, each one of you listening to this, can change the world for the better, one person at a time, from the inside out, one heart, one mind at a time. Well, when I was young and very young, I knew that I might not live. I was 2, 3, 4 years of age, not able to do any exercise or any sports at all. I wasn't able to run and jump like all the other children, so I was mocked and left alone and bullied as a result. And when I went to junior kindergarten and grade 1, it got even worse because I had to sit on the sidelines and couldn't participate in anything at all that I was doing. And then I was feeling very, very poorly and on my way out. That is, I was seemingly dying at the time when I was about 7.5 years of age. And so they decided they were going to do some innovative, unusual surgery and see if they could patch up the hole in my heart. It was the physical size of like a Canadian silver dollar, and put some Teflon in there as a patch. So that's why I don't get heartburn anymore, because it doesn't stick. That's a wee bit of a joke for you there. They did the surgery on me and they told me I'd have only a 20% chance of living through the surgery. And of course, as a young child, I realized that I just had to surrender. Surrender was the only thing I could do, because if it was the Spirit's will that I was meant to go and leave, then I would just say yes to that. And if it was Spirit's will that I should stay, then I would put all my efforts into trying to make myself stay here in the physical body. The surgery didn't go well. It was 18 and a half hours long. It was the first successful heart surgery in North America, if not the world, in 1958. And after the surgery was finished, I got pneumonia and almost died from that. And then there were some other complications as well. I spent the whole year in the hospital, more or less. And the bad news was that the surgery wasn't really successful. The hole was so big they could only patch half of it, and they were going to do another surgery a year later to patch up the other half with another Teflon patch. Well, here's where imagination and reality come in. As a child, my intuition, and of course children have great imaginations if their spirit is still strong and hasn't been knocked out and defeated by the system or the education or whatever it might be, or the religion or the culture. And so what I decided was, just with using my imagination and with my visualization and prayer as well. I didn't know how to pray necessarily, but I believe everyone knows how to pray. And we all just know that we are reaching out to a higher power. That if I believed and I had the hope and the faith and the courage to just continue, even though I knew I wasn't feeling great, I just believed and I knew that this imagination I had I visualized the hole closing over on its own, that it would work. Well, the miracle is this, and miracles abound every single day. The hole did close on its own. The doctors and the scientists had no idea how that could have happened. I knew it was grace, and I knew it was imagination. And that proved to me that imagination is reality. And from that moment on, I determined to make the rest of my life, my entire life, no matter how long I live, to proving that imagination is reality. And there's a great mystery and magic and majesty behind the universe inside every one of us. And we're all the same. And in fact, we're all one. We're all one cell in a great cosmic life body. So finally, when I was about 14, 15, 16, I was able to have my first pair of running shoes. It took me a while to learn some physical skills, some sports skills, just even knowing how to run properly. That was an amazing thing for me. It showed me that with diligence and just doggedness, I could actually learn some of the skills that I was already maybe 12 years behind all my other friends. And this shows us that, there's inside of us, there's an indomitable courage, isn't there? A courage to outdo ourselves, to support ourselves, to climb those inner mountains, those inner challenges, to cross those seas and to get across to the other side, to see how far we can reach, the spiritual Olympics of the soul. And so what I did, and then as a scientist, when I got interested in that as well as the sports, I decided to look under every nook and cranny in every book in ancient culture to see, well, how other people done this. And if they did, how did they do it? And if a whole society or culture knew how to do it, what did they do? So I researched all the indigenous peoples of the world, ancient and modern, the medicine women, the medicine men, the shamans, and found out, in fact, yes, they were able to do it for themselves and for other people living in their village, in their family and friends. And I learned the techniques from the books, but I also kept doing it with myself because, as I said, I had many illnesses. And I was able to use these techniques, these time-told techniques, to heal myself of many, many things, none of which I'll go into here, although most of it is in my autobiography. Living in two worlds, meaning the spirit world and this world, the inside and the outside, and it has been a life of love for me. And so with all of this, I realized that the educational system, both in high school and university, and I did spend 18 years at the University of Toronto, they didn't know this in the medical sciences. They didn't know this in biology and zoology. They didn't teach the fact that this was even possible. They didn't know this in anthropology about all the other cultures. And if they did, they treated it just like some objective science that was kind of like a fiction that these poor so-called primitive people believed in. But I knew better because I knew I had the experience and I knew that it was true. So I put together all my intuitive experience and knowing and what I had done for myself to heal my heart and all these other illnesses with my scientific, objective, historical, medical, and anthropological awareness and all the textbooks that I read. And I decided that we needed to know, other people needed to know that this can be done. Well, as you know, it's led into many different fields, and I'm not the only one, obviously, but PNI, or psychoneuroimmunology, is just one of the modern sciences that show that you, with the power of your mind, the changing of your hormones and your proteins, and all the cells of your body, including the DNA, you can change your whole posture, your whole physical being. You can cure yourself of cancers and other illnesses like that, and stroke as well. You can clear and open and heal your heart if it has some physical malfunctions. Now, all in conjunction, I must say, as proviso, with some medical advice to make sure you know what you're doing, and you need to do some absolute research and be hand in hand with somebody who knows. And from all the emotional illnesses and challenges I had, the anger, the sadness, the grief, the loneliness, depression, and all the fears and terrors I had, I was able, again with my imagination, all these ancient techniques, some from yoga and Hinduism and Buddhism and so on, shamanism, other cultures, and all the wisdom cultures and spiritual traditions of our planet, learn how to do this, as you well can too. And so I realized that this was a very important thing because we're living in a time when, seemingly, if we can say it this way, the left hemisphere of each one of us is the only predominant part operating, and we're trying to diminish the spirit of the right-hand side, meaning innovation, imagination, and all the things that we're dropping from the educational systems like music, art, drawing, and dance. All these need to come back. And that's why the education system is amnesia. The greatest TED Talk, which has over 17 million hits by Sir Ken Robinson, is showing how the educational systems around the world are failing our children, and they're not going to be prepared for the future. They need desperately to find out who they are, why they're here, and start to train with the full-bodied, the art, the music, and the innovation and the imagination, and keep their spirit strong, and just even keep their spirit, let alone strong, and not do what the system tells them to do, which is to be a bland cog, fit into the system. It's so boring, it's so unreal, and it's so unspiritual, and it's so non-feeling and non-human. This is what so many of our movies are about, and I'm sure you're feeling it too. I'm very concerned for all the young people who feel that they just have to fit into the system but don't want to, and they need something better and different. They truly just need to be themselves. Carl Jung, the great psychiatrist, had this to say. In this society, the state, the nation, the society, the institutions, the educational system, the justice system is controlling everybody completely, and they can't be themselves. They can't have their own feelings, their own thoughts. They're not allowed to question themselves, and this is exactly where we seem to be now on the planet. Well, the good news is Jung would say, and I agree with him, in our deepest human nature, we will not accept our nullification forever. We do need to stand up, be unique, be original, be that spark of light that we are from Source, reconnect with the Source, reconnect with our inner imagination, heal ourselves with our imagination, believe in our own inner imagination as the true and one great reality connected to the Source, and not live the lie of what expected to us to be, which are banal robots outside and doing what other people tell us to do, stuff that we hate and we're not even caring to do, and may in fact be a lie and not at all moral or ethical. Inside each one of us as a spiritual being, we are visionaries of the highest values, and it's time for us to reconnect to those visionary values that we are. And that creativity is our courage. And so when we're creative and imaginative and innovative, that is our courage. As the Buddha says, learning is only remembering. We need to be developers of discipline, the discipline to be self-realized and believe in ourselves and our own imagination. We need to be partners in the true power, which is the power of love. We need to be co-facilitators with the greatest courage that it will take to change this world for a better world. And it happens one person at a time as you find yourself. All these institutions we have now, we know they're not just, whether it be politics, justice, or so on. There is no truth and reconciliation in this. We need to be the ones to know why we are here, why we believe and know what we know and believe, and have the dream, reimagine the dream, re-indigenize ourselves, and recreate a brand new world that has a sense of values, justice, truth, and reconciliation, most of all based on the love. And as you go deeper into your imagination, you will find that love is the greatest adventure and the greatest mystery. That love will lead you to your truth, your passion, and your personal mythological life story, one step at a time. Just stay tuned, surrender, open to the great mystery. It will all be there for you. I know every one of you listening to this is a great master of light, a great heart master of pure love, and that you can trust your source inside yourself. And the more you do that, no matter how challenging it may seem for you, just simply do it. One breath at a time, one thought at a time, one feeling at a time, and one action at a time. If you need to, just believe in yourself so much that you need to maybe even, what we say, fake it till you follow it. Fake it till you know that you are that person of great love and light. And be that joy, be that light. You know, the world has had just a few great masters, some in our century, and that would be Tolstoy and Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., and that would also be, you know, Nelson Mandela. These people who took it upon themselves to imagine their truth, imagine a better world. As John said, Lennon say, imagine a better world. You know that song. This is the time for us to really reimagine ourselves, reimagine our hope and our courage and our faith and our trust in ourselves. And yes, it is a journey. That's a solo journey. You will find partners along the way who have the same heart and values and same capacity to be unique. And it's the term we use, individuation, which is becoming more and more of who you already have been inside your heart and your mind and your body and spirit. This is key to everything that's going on in your world. I would say all love and blessings to you. This is really exciting. I know that you will find ways to acknowledge yourself and believe in yourself. Realize that the only true reality is the one in your imagination linked to the truth of spirit, that one spirit that pervades all of us throughout the cosmos, certainly all the human species, all our animal sisters and brothers. And the truth is, when you get to that place, you know that we are all sisters and brothers. We have compassion, we have empathy and love and kindness, respect for all the people around us and all our relations. Mitukuyo Yasin. So have the courage to be yourself. Use the imagination you've been given. It's a spirit gift to create a better world and life for yourself, one that's filling your passions. But remember to have elements of music, song, dance, drawing, photography, and playing and enjoy. And that itself will bring forth all the blessings. The left and the right hemispheres will join across the corpus callosum. The two sides of our natures will become one. We will become unified. We will become whole. We will be one heart, one mind, one drum, one circle, one family, and one humanity, one world, one earth, and one cosmos. All love and blessings. I hope this has been an inspiration for you. Dr. Joseph Martin, all my love to you. Om Namah Shivaya.